Hi there, it's David Duford at buylifeinsuranceforburial.com, where we help answer your questions about life insurance and burial insurance. Specifically in today's video, we're going to do a thorough review of MassMutual's simplified whole life insurance product and guaranteed acceptance life insurance product. This video is essentially a review. It's going to walk you through the application process as to what to expect if you apply for life insurance for these particular products through MassMutual. I'm going to actually show you what you can see or what you would see if you would apply. And then I'm going to show you all the information that you need to know to determine for yourself if this particular product with MassMutual, it's simplified direct or it's guaranteed acceptance or guaranteed issue product, is right for you. Most likely you're watching this video because you've been seeing MassMutual ads play on YouTube or across the internet, and you're curious to see if this is something that makes sense for you, and you want to do your homework to figure out what MassMutual's product does and why it would be of benefit. Now, the thing I'll add here before I get started, for total transparency's sake, I am an insurance agent. I have been since 2011. I represent a variety of different life insurance companies. MassMutual is not one of them. You'll find out why I don't think that's necessarily a problem, but for some people concerned about bias and that kind of thing, I totally understand. I just want you to know where I'm coming from. And what I'm going to provide here is an attempt to have a balanced view of how this particular life insurance product works. And then you can be the judge if it's something that's good for you or not. And then I will provide at the end of this some takeaways as to where this particular product would make sense and then in circumstances where it doesn't. So just again, being fully transparent here so you know where I'm coming from and you know how this works. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about MassMutual. They're a very good company. They've been around a very long time. Excellent quality company. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But what I want to do today is really just jump in and explain really by showing how this works so that you can extract the necessary information out of this to determine if the product from MassMutual is right for you. So I'm taking you to my screen on the desktop here. And we're at MassMutual's website where it discusses the simplified whole life product. And you can see right here it says simplified issue whole life insurance offers affordable coverage to people aged 40 to 80 to help with final expenses like funeral costs, medical bills, and other debts. With this insurance, you can help protect your family from financial burdens. Applying online is simple and you don't need a medical exam. So what we're going to do is just scroll down the page, kind of look at some highlights as to what these products may do and how they may work to give you some insight on how the product works. So first of all, hit some of the highlights here. No medical exam required. We mentioned that earlier. The affordable coverage ranges between $2,000 and $25,000 with rates starting at less than $7 per month. Again, that's for a 40-year-old woman at $2,000 coverage. So yeah, just always look for the little asterisks, right, or the little notes to go clarify. Lifetime of coverage. This is a whole life product, so it doesn't cancel due to age or health. And for your coverage, it'll never go up, and your coverage will never go down. And then there is guaranteed acceptance available, which we'll talk more about that. But for those who don't qualify for simplified issue whole life, we offer guaranteed acceptance life insurance for those between 50 and 75, and you cannot be denied because of health reasons. All of this is true. So let's go down here first to the Apply Now button. So this takes you to the application page, and I'm going to play the client here, maybe perhaps you if you're doing this, to learn more about how this goes. So I am male. I am going to pretend to be 65. I don't smoke nicotine. If you click here, it just says tobacco is one factor that determines cost coverage. I'm going to apply for $10,000 coverage, and you see it says that I'm $63.23 if I'm approved. Again, we're applying. It's not guaranteed I'm going to get it. Let's see. Let's see through here. Just going to review this real quick. This is all just kind of selling you on why they're a good company. So let's go ahead and put in my name, Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse 123 at gmail.com. 423-432-4321. I live in Tennessee. My birth date is going to be 01/01/1953. Yeah, it should make me 65. I am not a robot. I'm Mickey Mouse. Now we hit apply. So now we get taken to the MassMutual page, where you begin the process of actually filling out an application online. One of the cool things about this is there's no, it's not necessary per se to talk to an agent, although you can if that's your cup of tea. But you can see the process now. Your coverage is $10,000. That's what we looked at. You can change it and go up or down again, and they give you the prices. We got Mickey Mouse. We got all this stuff here, blah, blah, blah. This is just basic information you fill out, normal stuff, nothing surprising. Same thing here. And then we go down to the health questions. Let me go ahead and put in a few random stuff here. Okay. Social Security number, 123 123 1234. Okay. No, yes, I am a legal resident. Yes, okay. Don't have insurance. Again, we're just going through this. Continue. And then after this, this takes us to the page where we agree to disclose our medical information. I'm not going to do that because I'm just making this stuff up for the sake of reviewing what we're looking at now, which is really what I want you to pay close attention to, because this is going to determine if you can even medically qualify for this product, okay? So they're going to ask you if you've used cigars, as well as what your current height and weight is. There's going to be limitations on if you are a certain height and weight, and if you're over that, you may not qualify for the Simplified Preferred product. But let's get into the health questions, because this is where the crux of the issue is. By the way, you see these little red things? That just, I haven't signed the health authorization form above, so it won't allow me to answer because I haven't agreed to share my information with them. So that if you click yes up there, that would go away. So this is normal. Okay, so if you read here, the last 12 months, have you been residing in or advised by a licensed medical professional that you may need or to be admitted to a nursing facility, assisted living, or hospice facility, admitted to the hospital 2 or more times, prescribed home oxygen, diagnosed or licensed by a professional is permanently disabled, or receiving assistance with activities of daily living like eating, bathing, dressing, or toileting, diagnosed with a licensed medical professional as having terminal illness with life expectancy of 12 months or less. If you answer yes to any of these, you will be declined, and you will be offered the guaranteed acceptance life insurance product instead. Again, wait. If any of these are yeses for you, please stick around. You'll find out why, and you'll find out some other options, because the second product, there's a little bit of a reveal I have to do, a little bit of reviewing the fine print, if you will, so you can understand why it may not be in your best interest. Same thing, question here about HIV or AIDS. Do you have it? Yes or no? And this is a 2-year look-back series of health questions. Have you been diagnosed, treated, or prescribed medication for the following? Disease or disorder of the circulatory system, including congestive heart failure, stroke, aneurysm, coronary artery disease, heart attack, or heart surgery. Again, any treatment or prescription for medication in the last 2 years is a yes. Even if it's been forever since your stroke, but you're taking blood thinners, ideally, or most potentially, they would say you wouldn't be able to qualify for this particular product. Next question is disease or disorder of the kidney, liver, lung, other than asthma, including COPD or emphysema, organ transplant, cancer, Alzheimer's disease, dementia, etc. Complications of diabetes, such as amputations, diabetic coma, blindness, or kidney disorder. So complications of diabetes includes diabetic neuropathy, probably one of the most common forms of complications. Have you been advised by a licensed medical professional to have a routine surgery, operation, diagnostic testing, excluding HIV or routine treatments? Anything you haven't completed yet as far as procedures go, but you need to. Narcotic drug use, and any sort of been told to stop basically using too much alcohol or non-prescribed drugs, and then any felonies convicted against you. This is the health limit. This is the extent of the health questions here. So the takeaway here, as I take you off of my screen and explain to you exactly the implications here is that if there's any of these that you answered yes to, then you will be booted back to the guaranteed acceptance product. If you answer no to everything, then you potentially qualify for the simplified whole life Mass Mutual product, which should get you first day full coverage for natural and accidental death, along with the benefits of whole life, meaning your rates don't go up and the coverage never goes down, nor can you be canceled because of age or health. Now, the problem is if you, or it's going to be twofold here, is comparing this to something else. that you may otherwise qualify for, as well as comparing if you can even qualify. So if you have any of these issues and you have to answer yes, you're going to be kicked back to what's called a guaranteed acceptance plan. And what I want to show you here on the screen is what a guaranteed acceptance plan really means so that you understand exactly the implications. So you may be thinking, well, at least I get something. Well, that's true, but the something you get may not be what you want. So let me take you back to my desktop and show you what I mean. So we're back on this screen here. You see where it says Simplified Whole Life. We started here. I'm slowly scrolling to the bottom because we want to look for the old fine print, as I say. And what we want to read is this right here. And I'm going to highlight it for you. I apologize if you can't read it, but here's what it says. Guaranteed acceptance life insurance is not a funeral or burial policy. In the first 2 years, the insurance benefit is limited to a return of premium payments that have been paid plus an additional 10%. The insurance benefit for death caused by accident is 100%. So what does this mean? This means if you die from some sort of natural cause within the first 2 years of the guaranteed acceptance product, they just give you your money back plus 10%. And that's if you answer yes to any of those particular questions that we've just reviewed. So if you've got diabetic neuropathy, if you've got kidney issues, but maybe not necessarily dialysis, or if you take some kind of medication for a heart or coronary issue you've had years ago, and if they come back and say, well, that's a decline, this is what you get instead. If you're between 50 and 75. Older, you just don't have any access to anything with MassMutual. And so what ends up happening is that you're in a situation where you don't have quality coverage that you may be able to get elsewhere. And that's something that I'm really wanting to push towards to explain, because there's two things here that you've got to be concerned with. The first being, how much is the price compared to what other options there are? And if you cannot qualify, is there anything other better than that? Because most likely you're watching this because you yourself are looking for life insurance for you or your spouse or someone you love, or you're a kid or of a parent that you need life insurance on your mom or dad. And the thing is if they're going to pay for this, or if you're going to pay for this if you're a senior and you're on a fixed income, why would you pay more than you would necessarily have to? So it's important, I believe, as an insurance agent, that you need to do a like kind comparison to make sure whatever you end up deciding is best for you is the best suited for you. It's because it's something you're going to keep till you die, right? So you want to make sure you're getting a good deal for it. So the first thing I want to show you is just some price comparisons to some companies that are high quality, that do a good job, but are substantially less expensive. Because one other thing you got to be concerned with, especially, is inflation when it comes to burial expenses. Most people buy these kind of policies to cover funeral and burial costs. Well, burial and funeral costs have gone up tremendously. It used to be 20 years ago, the average, based on my recollection, is around $6,500. Well, now it's $8,500. 20 more years, it may be $12,500. Who knows? So you may want to buy more than you think you need today just to account for the inflationary effects that insurance, or I should say, that funerals experience. So with all this said and done, I'm going to first talk about price comparison, and then I'm going to go back on the screen and explain why underwriting really is important. And while you don't need to necessarily accept a MassMutual guaranteed to issue or guaranteed acceptance policy if you get declined, or if you think you might decline, and why there's other options out there that may be better. So let's do this. I'm going to take you back to the screen, and in front of you, you're going to see, I'll scroll up here. I'll point out right here at the top, kind of see where I'm highlighting. That is going to show that I'm comparing prices to a male non-smoker in Tennessee who's 65 for $10,000 in coverage for level coverage, which is literally the same kind of life insurance policy that MassMutual is showing in its simplified product. First day full coverage for natural and accidental death after the first payment. Rates never go up, coverage never cancels due to age or health. So this is a apples to apples comparison, which is what you want to ultimately do to figure out what options are best. So how does MassMutual simplified issue product compare? How does it add up? So we go back, just to remind you, we're looking at $10,000 and we're quoted at $63.23. You notice right here on the right side of the screen. Now we go back to the quoter here. let's take a look at some comparisons. So a lot of these companies you may not have heard of. That's fine. But there are options that are significantly cheaper. For example, Assurity, very good company out of Nebraska. They're $10 a month cheaper. Mutual of Omaha is about $8 a month cheaper. And these are products that may have and afford you more flexibility in underwriting that maybe the other particular product doesn't. It may not, just depends. But you can see there's a substantial amount of companies here that do a lot better. And you may be thinking, $10, what's $10? Well, again, we talk about the inflationary effect, right, of your insurance or of your funerals going up. If we look at, say, $12,000 and we run this quote, I haven't run this yet, so this is all kind of all of a sudden. So we compare 63.23 for $10,000. Well, if we got a surety here for $12,000 in coverage, again, just pointing this out so you see it's right up here where it's highlighted where it says amount, $12,000 for just really less than $1 more a month, you're getting $2,000 more in coverage. I mean, it's like we're handing you more money for the same price, approximately the same price. Why not take that? Especially when inflation and prices going up with funerals is a real problem. You don't have to pay more for your insurance with a company like MassMutual versus other options that are out there that brokers like us at buylifeinsuranceforburial.com can help you with. So again, and there's even cheaper prices here, but just to show you a difference, what we're looking at, you can do more with that kind of investment. So, and it's true no matter how much you get. If we moved you up to, let's look at $25,000 in coverage, it's $153.57. If we do the same thing here, we move you up to $25,000 in coverage here, we run the pricing, check it out. Instead of paying $153.57, a surety is going to be $131.38. So now you're saving roughly $300 a year for the same exact thing. And again, we do the same thing. We take it to $30,000, going to be close. It'd be about $157.22 compared to $153. So you can get close, pretty much $5,000 for the same price and more coverage. Pretty impressive. At least I think so. And money matters. You need to get the most you can for the best bang for your buck. So that's how that compares. So the next thing I want to explain to you, now that you can see there's the ability, if you qualify, to get more coverage for each dollar that you can spend on your life insurance, the next thing I want to show you is why there are going to be circumstances where you're better qualified with other companies because of your health issues. So I'm pulling back up the application information. And the thing is, in my line of work, what I don't want to do is put a person in a position where they have to wait 2 years till the coverage is in full effect for natural causes if it can be helped. Nobody knows when we're going to die. I've been in business with an insurance agent as an insurance agent since 2011. I've helped over 3,000 people with their life insurance questions and needs, and I can tell you, people die suddenly, all right? And you need as much full protection as you can afford and as you can qualify for. And so there are circumstances where if you end up getting booted to a 2-year wait guaranteed acceptance product with MassMutual, that you might be able to get first day full coverage elsewhere. And what I want to demonstrate to you here is a few options that would get you first day full coverage where you may get the boot with MassMutual's first day full coverage product. So again, I'm going to take off the screen here and demonstrate what I mean. And I'm taking you back to the health question screen. And what we're going to do here is just really explain to you what we're looking at and what circumstances may allow you to get better coverage. So I'm just briefly looking through the questions and looking for the occasional exceptions. So one thing here, you'll notice this question, admitted to the hospital 2 or more times. This is a question that a lot of companies have an issue with, especially these ones where they don't send an agent to your home. There are companies, however, that don't care about hospitalization visits, or if they do, they limit it to 1 time in the past year or 1 time in the last 6 months. So this one knocks out a lot of people. You maybe be knocked out because of some simple question like this, but there are insurance companies that we represent at Buy Life Insurance for Burial that will be more flexible in this regard, that will still offer you first day full coverage. Now we're scrolling down to some of the 2-year look back questions. This is a big one right here, this kind of compilation question about heart issues. It's not clear to me if they have an issue with blood pressure, but for a lot of these conditions, there may be people who are taking Plavix, Coumadin, warfarin, blood thinners to help maintain the quality of the heart and not have any recurrence of issues. And but maybe, considering the way the questions are asked, decline, because specifically it says, has a licensed medical professional diagnosed you with, treated you for, or prescribed medications for any of the following? So if you've been prescribed medication to treat or prevent any of these questions happening, you'll get declined. But there's companies that I deal with that they understand you're going to take medications to prevent it happening again, and they'll still give you, in some circumstances, a potential for first day full coverage for natural and accidental death. Same thing with COPD. In certain circumstances, we can get first day full coverage, even if you have this, so you don't have to accept it to your weight. And then diabetic complications as well, the big one being diabetic neuropathy. There are companies that will give you first day full coverage, even with diabetic neuropathy as well. Regarding the rest of this, felonies, we have companies, in the rare situation people have felonies, there are companies that only look back a couple of years as opposed to completely have you ever. So it is something that you need to make sure of as well. Okay, so beyond this, you can see there are circumstances to where there's going to be, if you've got any of these health issues, right, you're going to be in a situation where you may not qualify for coverage with Mass Mutual, but you may with another company through a broker like us. This is why I do brokerage. I work with a variety of different life insurance companies because my clients all have different health issues. They take different prescriptions. And there's no one size fits all when it comes to this business. You need to be in a situation to where you can qualify for the best kind of coverage that's available to you. So with all that said and done, the last point I'll make here is that you may end up qualifying for a guaranteed issue policy with Mass Mutual if you have some of these other conditions. Make sure that after you look at the pricing, because the pricing is not readily available, I've been looking for it while I was talking to you on the camera, make sure you compare it to what we have with us. We do guaranteed issue coverage as well to your waiting period policies. We go up to age 85, whereas Mass Mutual stops at 75, and we actually offer guaranteed issue to people starting at age 40, whereas Mass Mutual is just restricted to 50 to 75. So we have younger and older options as well as in between. And many times I've compared, I don't know for sure for Mass Mutual since I don't have that information in front of me, many times we can get a better price. Again, sometimes the price is pretty expensive, but in our circumstances, it just really depends. So some takeaways here. Again, I made it clear that I was an insurance agent up front. Make no bones about it. I help people with life insurance. But that's why I'm doing this video. There are going to be circumstances where a Mass Mutual guaranteed acceptance or a Mass Mutual simplified product is the best choice, but not always. You need to do your homework, which if you're at this point in the video, you have, and you've seen that there is somewhat of a stark contrast depending on the circumstances. Being in the market, working with seniors, people on a fixed income, I feel passionate that you need to get the best value and coverage for whatever it is that you can afford. You don't need to pay more just because it's a brand name company. We deal with a lot of different companies that are smaller, but they're very high quality, and they allow you to maximize the coverage for the least amount of price. And that's very, very important for people on a fixed income to get their money's worth. So I say all this because if any of this information I've shared with you, it concerns you, and you want to compare to what Mass Mutual does and see what quotes you could get that would be better priced or provide more coverage, here's what you need to do. You can call me direct at 888-626-0439 now, and you'll speak with myself or one of my friendly representatives. It takes 5 minutes to give you a quote, and there's no obligation. If you like it, great. If not, no problem. Otherwise, you can go to my website. It's buylifeinsuranceforburial.com, and there you can actually send me a message either on the left side of the screen or the bottom of the screen, and just tell us what you're interested in looking for, and we'll get you some quotes back quickly. So again, if you're interested, call. It's 888-626-0439 or go to buylifeinsuranceforburial.com. This concludes this educational video on going into the details of how Mass Mutual's simplified issue product works. I do hope that you got some value out of it. Thank you for your time. And my name is David Duford. We'll talk later. Bye.